All right. So the other day, I was driving to my buddy's house, gonna have a good bonfire, gonna have a good time, and I'm just driving, just minding my own business. I'm actually listening to the Game of Thrones audiobook. It was Storm of Swords. I just finished that one up. I'm on to Feast for Crows now. Very good books. It's gotten to the point that I don't even, listen to music in the car anymore. I just listen to the audiobooks. They're fantastic. So I was doing that, driving. I get close to his house, and he has a pretty long, meandering neighborhood, and so I'm driving through. And I was going probably about 30 miles an hour, so about 5 miles over the speed limit or whatnot. And I'm driving, and then out of nowhere, I'm going around a corner, and a little tiny, like 3-year-old kid. Three. I'm terrible at guessing kids' ages, but this kid was so young, he legitimately was tripping, and not tripping because he was just a little kid, too rambunctious and running around, but he was tripping because he was a child that really couldn't walk yet, like a child that could not walk at all, hardly. Just his first few steps, I wouldn't be surprised. And so he is walking out, and he falls into the road, and I am coming around a corner. And so I see this kid fall down, and thank goodness I was paying attention. I slam on my brakes, and of course I wasn't going very fast, so it wasn't like a big, like, kind of, man, that was a bad sound, like a big long screech, like to really, make apparent the fact that I was slowing down so quickly. But I slowed down really fast, and I looked to the right, and I was just flabbergasted that this kid was right out in the middle of the street. And I don't want to make it sound like I was right about to hit him, like the little baby looked up and was smiling at my grill, because that's not how it went. But he did look up, and I was probably like, 15 feet from him, so pretty close, closer than you would like a car to be. And the reason I couldn't see him is because there was a bush behind me to the right, and it was a big swooping right turn, and so it kind of obscured that patch of the road. And then as soon as I came around, this person's whole house came into view on my right, and this kid was still laying there, and I kind of was just flabbergasted this happened. And further by this kid's house are both of his parents. Now the dad had like the hose out, and he was hosing down one of the cars, completely looking the other direction, and the mom was sitting on the stoop out front, or maybe not a stoop, a little porch area, and chatting away on her cell phone, not paying attention either. And so these kids, or I should call them kids, because it was that phenomenally irresponsible. These parents, these adults, had completely neglected their kid, and upon realizing after I slowed down so fast and stopped moving, the mom looked up and like kind of gave like big saucer eyes and was like, oh my goodness, running out there. She runs out. The husband's attention is called to the scenario. Husband walks over slowly, puts the hose away. Big fat fuck, worthless. He has a wife beater on, but not like a yellow stained wife beater, just something you'd use when you're washing the car and you're too fat to go shirtless. And this overweight lady, she comes out, grabs the kid, picks him up, and just starts carrying him back to the house. But before long, the husband catches up, and he kind of puts his hand on the wife's shoulder and points at me, like directly at me. And she turns around, and she has just the most indignant look on her eyes, like just freaking out, like, oh yeah, just like yelling and screaming. Not yelling and screaming yet. We'll get there though. She's making an indignant look, looks back, sees me there, and I gave one of those shrugs because my windows were down. I wasn't gonna get out of the car and talk to these morons. I just gave one of those shrugs and those kind of shake of the heads, like, what the hell are you thinking? Like, are you serious? Like, is this happening right now? Are you that incredibly inept as a parent to not take care of your kid? And then the mom turns around, gives me one more, just stares daggers at me, and then starts walking the kid back. And then the dad starts to walk towards me. And the dad gets up to the passenger side of my car, and my car has really, really tinted windows, so he couldn't see in except for a little bit through the front. And so he comes over, and then he raps on my window. And it wasn't a courteous, like, knock, knock, knock. It was like a rap, 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 like with his knuckles right on the thing. And immediately, my pissed off meter just goes through the roof, just to think that this guy would have the gall to do what he just did. And so I roll down the window, and I looked at him, and I said, what the hell is your problem? Someone could have killed your kid. If I hadn't been paying attention, I could have easily ran over your child. He was in the middle of the road. That is a two-year-old kid. I don't know how the hell old your kid is, but that was a young child, and you were over there with your ass turned to him, and your wife was just talking on the phone over there. You could have just had your child killed. And the guy just went off and was like, don't you tell me how to parent. Don't you tell me how to parent. He wasn't even close to the road. He wasn't even close to the road. He was still in our yard. Why'd you stop so fast? Huh? Why'd you stop so fast? And I was like, well, what? And I was so just my mind was blown. Like, what the hell was this guy even arguing about? Was he thinking that I was just like slammed on my brakes for no reason, just to look over at he and his family and just like watch a child play in the yard? Like, Jesus Christ, like what the hell is wrong with you? Like, I can understand like that he was mad because he realized his own phenomenal ineptitude and that he messed up big time. But at the same time, like, if that happens, he should have just said, you know what, you're right. I should be watching my kid better. Thank you for watching the road and being a responsible adult and stopping. And keep in mind, this whole time, like, I'm not like bumping music like a hardcore thug who was like out to get children or some shit. Which even if I were, I wouldn't be out to get a fucking 2-year-old playing in a yard. This whole time, I'm listening to goddamn Game of Thrones. So right now, he came up to talk to me, and there's like a chapter reading from a book, and it's just kind of ridiculous, not making much sense. And so he keeps yelling. He's angry at me, saying that I get to watch myself on the road, to which I responded, like, what the hell are you talking about? I am watching the road. That's the reason your son or your daughter, so young I couldn't even tell the sex, isn't dead right now. And he just kept going off and was angry. And then he said, oh, you stay still. I'm going to get your license plate. I'm calling the police. I'm calling the police. And I was like, I didn't even say anything to that, because as soon as he stepped away, I was like, okay, you can get my license. I just sped off because it was a really long straightaway right there, and that time I did get going fast enough because I've got Chrysler 300. It's like a 5.6, 5.7 liter V8. It's got some pickup, and so I burned out right in this dude's face. That was the most badass thing I've probably ever done in my entire life. I felt really proud about it. But yeah, so that's the story of the incredibly inept father and wife duo who almost put me in a situation where I could have killed a child because they were allowing him to literally, like when I say in the middle of the road, I'm not talking like sitting on the curb. I'm talking 2 feet to the right of the middle line in the road. That's how middle I'm talking about, right in the middle of the goddamn right lane. And I could have killed this kid. So, that was pretty shitty. But, it all worked out in the end. I have a good story for it now. And I really hope that next time I'm driving through there that maybe the mom or the dad is playing out there. And I might just smash into them with my car. Teach them a little bit of a lesson about, being safe in the road. I'll probably accelerate into them, to be completely honest, because they are unfit parents. Anyway, that's all I have to say. Hope you enjoyed. And I love you.